Here's your First Warn Weather Forecast First, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Temperature a little bit on the cooler side, still sitting below average for all of us across the state line. We briefly did make it to the low 60s in Rockford, but now with some lighter rain moving in, that has dropped that number to 59 degrees, 62 in Rochelle, 54 in Freeport and in Monroe, where some of that rain has been falling a little bit longer. You see some of these steadier rainfall rates in a few spots where we're seeing those rainfall rates come down a little bit higher. The bulk of that now still west of I39, but slowly creeping eastward across the state line. And we'll likely see the continuation of some scattered showers as we head through the evening hours tonight. Temperature eventually making its way back down into the low 40s. Scattered showers going to be a trend as we head into the weekend. I'll let you know where our temperatures will end up during that time, and the drier and warmer trend arriving for next week. Coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
Illinois' 39th governor has died at the age of 91. We remember the life of former Governor George Ryan, who spent more than 5 years in federal prison. A group of Northern Illinois students received national recognition, the engineering team from NIU that brought home the title of Grand Champion. And an area homeless shelter receives a major help boost from the community. The donations Rockford Rescue Mission used to buy new beds for people with no place to sleep.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendell Eppers. Happy Friday. We thank you for being here. Mimi is off tonight. Tonight, former Illinois Governor George Ryan has died. His death confirmed today by the Kankakee County coroner. The Republican served as the 39th governor of Illinois from 1999 to 2003. Ryan made headlines when he imposed a moratorium on executions in Illinois in 2000. 3 years later, he commuted the sentences of 167 inmates who were on or waiting to be sent to Illinois' death row. Governor Ryan was convicted of fraud and racketeering charges in 2006 after he served as governor. He served more than 5 years in a federal prison. His cause of death tonight is unknown. Governor Ryan was 91 years old. A person is dead tonight after a crash between a car and a semi-truck on I-39 earlier today. Authorities were called to the northbound lanes of I-39 near Baxter Road this morning. You can see the aftermath of the semi colliding with the car, which is upside down. Illinois State Police confirmed the crash was deadly and that it is conducting an investigation. A traffic advisory was issued due to that crash because of the backup. Tonight, a team of NIU students celebrating a national title. The 7-man engineering team named Grand Champion of the Fluid Power Vehicle competition. Eyewitness News reporter Blake Dietz was in DeKalb as the team showcased its award-winning bike. Blake, show us.
Yeah, this is the second straight year NIU has taken home the Grand Champion Award, Wendell. However, this year was an entirely new team of engineering seniors. And they tell me it is a testament to their schooling, and they hope that their legacy can continue on. Now, the team engineered and built a bike utilizing pressurized oil to propel the vehicle. They put their design to the test at the Fluid Power Vehicle Challenge final competition that was in Iowa last month. Not only did the team win the overall championship, they finished first in the sprint and endurance races. The team's leader says that they're just glad that they lived up to expectations that were set before.
It was a sense of relief because you know, kind of when you come into underdog, as an underdog, there's not that expectation, but we were coming in with a team that won last year, you know, as they pretty much swept the competition the previous year, getting first in a lot of things, and we were able to, again, come across in first in most of the events, and then we were also to get some Judges' Choice Awards when it comes to presenting.
I'll have more on the team's incredible accomplishment that's coming up in the full story at 6. Wendell.
Blake, thank you. Congratulations to that team. We talked with Illinois State Treasurer Mike Frerichs today. It's about how President Trump's tariffs could impact consumers and farmers statewide.
A lot of people have lost a lot of money in their retirement funds. So we call that the Trump retirement tax. But also, people are going to the grocery stores and they see one of two things. They see prices going up, or they're starting to see shelves going empty. And that's going to be a real problem going forward. I think what you're going to also see is a lot of farmers throughout Illinois. We are big exporters of our agricultural products, but these other countries are going to put tariffs on our farmers. And although they are great and they produce a great abundance at low cost, If farmers have to pay tariffs when they go into other countries, they're going to look elsewhere.
So the state treasurer stopped by the news station today, and we also asked him about a new program from his office that offers no cosigner loans to Illinois students attending college or university anywhere in the state. You'll hear what he had to say about that coming up tonight at 6. The status report on the U.S. job market. In today's Political Minute, News Nation breaks down new employment numbers and what they mean for the country going forward.
A glimmer of good news for American jobs. I'm Mike Vaquera, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. The government releasing a new jobs report Friday showing that the economy added 177,000 jobs in April. That's more than the 135,000 jobs economists had predicted. Unemployment remains steady at 4.2%. When broken down by sector, healthcare led the way, adding just over 50,000 jobs. Transportation and warehousing came in just shy of 30,000. Leisure and hospitality recording a gain of 24,000 jobs. President Trump touting the news, saying, quote, "We're just getting started," while also calling for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. But some economists point out that the full effect of the tariffs is yet to be felt, and they're bracing for possible job losses later in the year. Meanwhile, the administration has been trying to slash government jobs. In April, federal employment dropped by 9,000. That's down 26,000 jobs since the beginning of the year. I'm Mike Vaquera, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
A local homeless shelter is celebrating a major upgrade to its space. Rockford Rescue Mission unveiled new beds for people today, funded by members of the community. A $10,000 grant from Woodward paid for 64 new mattresses for the mission's Women and Children's Crisis Center. A donation from Myers supplied 200 new pillows, and community donations were used to buy new sheets and pillowcases. Staff with the mission say these upgrades were a long time coming.
It's been almost 10 years, actually, that we are now replacing these mattresses. So originally when our Women's and Children's Center was built, these are the original mattresses from almost 10 years ago. So we're finally getting the opportunity with these donations to replace this well-needed new mattresses.
Rockford Rescue Mission serves an average of 130 people each night and more than 1,400 people every year. The man who killed a Palestinian boy and wounded his mother sentenced today. When we come back, reaction from the child's loved ones in court. And coming up tonight at 6, a swearing-in ceremony for new law enforcement officers, the newest members of the Rockford Police Department, and the promotion of an existing officer.
And a line of some steady showers now passing through portions of the state line, passing over downtown with our SkyTrack camera out there not that long ago. I'll let you know how long into the evening those will stick around, and the trend that could be possible through the weekend, coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Joseph Czuba, the landlord who murdered a Muslim boy and wounded his mother, was sentenced to 53 years in prison today. Jewel Hillary was in court when that sentence came down and has reaction from the child's loved ones.
The sentence was just for a criminal, but was not just for us as families, as parents. We needed more answers.
During Friday morning's sentencing hearing, one of 6-year-old Wadia Al-Fayoum's grandfathers shared a victim impact statement in court. At times, he turned to look at 73-year-old Joseph Czuba eye to eye, pleading with him to explain why he flipped from someone who cared for Wadia to stabbing him 26 times and killing him.
He was a grandfather figure. He took care of this little boy. After the news, that's what everything changed. So we needed him to come up and say something.
On Friday, a Will County judge sentenced Czuba, who, according to his defense attorney, has stage 4 cancer, to a total of 53 years in prison for first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and hate crime charges.
It doesn't matter what numbers are. He took a life from us. He took a future.
The brutal crimes occurred in October 2023, days after the Israel-Hamas war started. During the trial, Czuba's former wife testified, saying Czuba had become agitated about the war At the time of the murder, Wadia and his mom, Hanan Shaheen, had been renting space inside of Czuba's Plainfield Township house for 2 years. In February, Hanan testified that Czuba attacked her first and then went after Wadia, insisting they had to move because they were Muslim.
The hatred against a religion that people don't understand. They just come up with a judgment. We wish people just to understand other people more, especially religions.
The executive director for CARE Chicago says Wadia was an innocent child. He was targeted because of who he was, Muslim, Palestinian, and loved. Our work is now to ensure that no other child suffers from the deadly consequences of hate. Wadia's father says he came to the United States because it's a free country, but is now baffled by the hate within.
The same guy, he was looking about my son as an angel. Right now, he called him as a devil. So, I don't know, this is America? That's what that mean? That's a free country?
That was Joel Hillary reporting. We saw some showers today, and we could be seeing some more heading into this evening. On the other side of this break, Jordan will let us know what the rest of the night looks like and the weekend. His forecast is next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
We've got some light rain and along with some steady showers embedded within that's now passing through portions of the state line. Our next wave of low pressure is starting to enter in from the west, and out ahead of it, we're seeing this enhanced line of some showers. A little bit of a closer look at some of those. You see some of these steadier rainfall rates showing up, where we have those enhanced colors showing up, even some oranges and reds, especially just south of Rockford, now passing through portions of Ogle County. Can't completely rule out a stray bolt of lightning or a rumble of thunder within that area as it continues to develop, but the main concern going to be just with some quick bursts of some rain. That's what we have going through portions of downtown Rockford at the moment. You see the roads now wet, along with a little bit of that limited visibility off in the distance. Our Mercy Help SkyTrack camera over downtown Rockford is brought to us by Window World. Out to the west, we had some of that steadier rain pass through, and still a few raindrops falling across our camera in Freeport. This one brought to us by the Rockford Career College. Also noting a little bit of that wind, the flagpole picking up just a little bit here in the short term. Temperatures still sitting in the 50s and even low 60s for many of us across the state line. 60 degrees in DeKalb and in Rochelle. Everywhere else in the 50s. 54 in Harvard, 59 in Rockford, also 54 in Freeport and in Monroe. Some rain-cooled air out to the west and some lake-cooled air, lake breeze off of Lake Michigan out to the east. Our weather watcher Gene in DeKalb reporting 61 degrees still at this hour, 63% humidity, only a 7-mile-per-hour wind at the moment. Our trend as we head into the weekend here will be with that area of low pressure, bringing us that rain here in the short term. What happens with that low pressure is it is going to stall out just off to our south and to our southeast. Note that this is a cut-off low-pressure system. We call it that because it breaks away from the general flow up to the north. The driving flow that move all of our weather patterns still remains up to the north, and therefore this doesn't have as much of that driving force to it, and it'll stay stuck in place for at least a couple of days. It's just spinning around off to our south and our southeast. What that will do is it will bring repeated rounds of showers, cloud cover, and a little bit of a cooler air mass overhead as we head through the weekend. So let's look at that with Futurecast. You see some of the scattered showers on the leading edge of that low pressure system here in the short term. That's what we have going on right now with Futurecast. Those passing out of the area as we head through 7, 8 o'clock tonight. But we could see repeated rounds of showers as it starts to get caught up in that cutoff low pressure system. We get our wind direction that flips to come out of an easterly direction, and that will bring us a little bit more of that moisture. We could have repeated rounds of possibly some light scattered showers, continuing even some pockets of drizzle or some sprinkles overnight tonight, even going into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Daytime hours for tomorrow do appear to be dry as most of that moisture will be pushed off down to our south. We may even get a clearer sky going into Saturday night, but Sunday we get more moisture that'll work its way in from the east and from the northeast, and that will bring us more cloud cover and also more rain showers as we go into Sunday, especially going into Sunday evening. That likely hangs around through Tuesday, Our highest rainfall totals likely will remain down to the southeast underneath that cutoff low pressure system, but a few spots here in the state line may end up seeing close to 1/4 of an inch of rain when all is said and done all the way through Monday. Tuesday, things look to dry out, so you see a big temperature difference from one side of that cutoff low pressure system, 50s and 60s over the next few days, up to 70 degrees though by the time that we hit Tuesday, 73 on Wednesday, and remaining above average as we head through the middle and end of the week.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Drew Collins is up next with sports. IceHogs players and coaches speak about last night's thrilling win in Milwaukee. Stick around and hear what they had to say.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
It has been an electrifying 24 hours for the IceHogs. The team seems to be sitting at an all-time high going into Game 2 of the series. Last night, the Hogs won in overtime after trailing the Admirals for basically the entire game. The Hogs scored 2 goals in the third period to take it to overtime. In overtime, the return of Colton Dock proved to be huge because he scored the game-winning goal in OT. Colton Dock and Coach Mark Eaton spoke about the crazy ending to the game in Milwaukee.
We got in that dressing room, we know that we're capable of scoring. We got a lot of high talented players in there, and when the game gets to those certain points, we know a game plan, and we know that it's do or die in the playoffs, so we got to get a puck in the net.
Overtime playoff hockey, there's nothing like it, and you know we've been fortunate to come out on the right side of a couple overtime games, but you know, we're not getting ahead of ourselves.
The White Sox are home this weekend for a series with the Astros. Jonathan Cannon is on the mound for the Sox. Luis Robert Jr. spoke following last night's win against the Brewers.
No, es lo que estamos trabajando. Pienso que porque I've been working toward that goal. You know, it doesn't matter if I have a bad week or a bad month. You know, I know the kind of player that I am, and I'm always working hard to do better, to improve, and to show the kind of player that I am. You know, lately the results have been there, and that's good.
The Cubs are in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers for Game 1 of a 3-game series. The Cubs are first in the Central while the Brewers sit 3 games behind in third place. So this series is really important for the current shape of the division. Ben Brown will be on the mound for the Cubs today. First pitch is at 7:10. And Fred VanVleet and his Rockets face elimination tonight against Steph Curry and the Warriors. Tip-off is at 8. That's sports. We'll be right back.
A broad area of light rain with some embedded steadier showers across portions of the state line here this evening. First Warn Interactive Radar from Rockford, Glass and more. That area of rain only moving at about 20 miles per hour to the east or northeast, so slowly crawling across the area. Could see some of that lighter rain then persist as we head into the evening tonight, at least in a scattered form. Temperature back down into the 40s overnight, and we'll see repeated rounds of some scattered showers as we head through our weekend. In the near term, most of Saturday actually may end up being dry, isolated chances mostly south of the state line. Scattered showers then return Sunday and Monday, dry and warmer as we head into next week.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tonight at 6.